Many folks grow up with the anxiety of being alone. Some are affected by these phobias rather continuously throughout their lives. They worry they'll be rejected by classmates, partners, schools, companies, or entire social groups. For many others, these anxieties aren't addressed until they enter into a sexual relationship. Things will be going along nicely, but all of a sudden, they are assaulted with uncertainty and fear that their partner may distance themselves, ignore, or forsake them. Everyone experiences this anxiety to varying degrees. Most of us may relate to having heightened anxiety over thoughts of rejection. Imagine waking up the morning after a great night spent with friends, and before you can even reminisce about how much fun you had, you're struck with panic. Everyone is gone, which means you're, don't say it, alone. It doesn't matter whether you were just surrounded by the people who love you, the dread of being alone has crept in, and while you undoubtedly know what this anxiety feels like, what is far less frequently understood, and less eloquently or routinely conveyed, is the extraordinarily high price exacted on the opposing side of the equation. The fear, or more often simply the phobia, of being alone is perhaps responsible for more unhappy relationships, more throttling of psychological development, more claustrophobia, and more. It is, by any accounting, one of the single biggest causes to human sorrow and the engine of some of our weightiest and most terrible actions. If only we were able to recover the expenditures of what is for the most part a simple misapprehension apparent in our thoughts, we may save ourselves a large piece of our existence. The explanation behind the fear of being alone is not always evident. However, it may be impacted by a traumatic incident in the past, childhood trauma, or relational troubles. Here are several possibilities why a person could develop pathological terror of alone. Negative childhood experiences. Like other phobias, fear of being alone, phobia, could be formed by traumatic childhood experiences that induce this anxiety. It may be built on abandonment issues like a parent leaving, a loved one who passed away unexpectedly, or negative encounters throughout childhood. For instance, there was a narrative of a youngster abandoned by his mother on the streets, and he lived to detest being alone growing up. Traumatic experiences. A painful experience may foster anxiety about being alone. Maybe you witnessed a loved one suffer or die from a medical condition alone. If not carefully addressed, this may be a concern in a person's life in the long run. These traumatic occurrences could generate this phobia, as well as anxiety disorders or post-traumatic disorder, PTSD. Health issue. Other folks who have existing mental health issues such as PTSD, schizophrenia, and anxiety disorders have the probability of having a panic attack with the concept of being alone. When a person has a fear of being alone, it may dramatically harm professional, social, and romantic relationships. Let's look at a few expenses we pay and how they influence our life in the long run. For a start, in love relationships, you might find yourself settling and going out with someone who's treated you quite poorly, just because you'd rather do that than be alone, while others regularly chose mates who match with patterns from their background. For example, if they were neglected as children, they may choose a companion who is self-centered or distant. People are rarely cognizant of this process, but they may experience an enhanced attraction to a person who reminds them of someone from their past. Or they may attempt tactics to reproduce the emotional environment of their adolescence. People who are scared of being abandoned typically not only chose less available partners, but they may also misrepresent their relationships, considering them to be more rejecting than they are. Finally, they may even irritate the other person in ways that drive their spouse to shrink back and create additional distance. Most importantly, it breaks up your relationship with yourself. You may start catastrophic thinking, which is when negative beliefs about oneself snowball in your head. The regular presence of others prohibits us from becoming acquainted with our brains and exploring our emotions and thoughts in a way that only extended periods of seclusion allow. We fail to develop our identity. We become progressively like everyone else. The noise outside stops us from being able to follow the faint but vital debate we would otherwise have been able to conduct with ourselves. We employ another individual to divert us whenever any small unpleasant or challenging inside issue enters into view. If you're alone right now, don't transform that into a concern that you're always going to be alone. What's more, after time in the wrong sort of company, we tend to acquire learned helplessness. Every hesitation we previously had to be alone grows greater, even as we get more experience of what awful company genuinely means. Can you overcome the terror of being alone? Yes, you can, but how? To start to correct everything that stems from this pernicious fear of being alone, we should from a young age learn that being alone never means there is something wrong with us, just that we are being appropriately patient, until what truly satisfies us shows up. If it ever does, we have a choice, we have not been punished. Exercises such as meditation, mindfulness, and deep breathing exercises aid overcome the phobia of being alone. Even listening to a guided meditation or employing a meditation app could help you self-regulate and lower anxiety levels. However, these relaxing techniques are more of a short-term plan to take control of your anxiety or panic attacks. Sticking to a steady routine can aid keep your attention off the challenges of being alone. You may keep yourself engaged additionally, so you won't get overwhelmed by sensations of loneliness. You may also go out and make new people, join a club, or enroll in the gym. The objective is to keep oneself engaged. Finally, we should grasp that being alone does not have to indicate being cut off from humanity. The condition may be the surest technique to connect entirely with it, to fill our brains with concepts and aspirations. We hope you liked this video. Like and subscribe for more educative videos like this.